Okay, hello grade 9s and welcome to class. Okay, my name is Kay. I am your English teacher for grade 9 and welcome to class. Thank you so much for joining me, okay? Awesome. So today we are continuing with language. We are going to be specifically focusing on synonyms and antonyms, as well as prefixes and suffixes. Okay. So by the end of the lesson, you will learn to recall the terms synonym and antonym, to replace given words with a synonym or antonym, and to provide a prefix or suffix to the root word. Okay. So prefixes and synonyms as well as antonyms are part of language, okay? And I am sure this is not your first time hearing about them. You've learned about them in primary school, and I'm sure you did them as well in grade 8. So this is more like a revision to help you remember, okay? Okay. So as a learner doing English as the first additional language, it is very important for you to know and understand synonyms and antonyms, as well as the prefixes and suffixes, because they are frequently asked on your exams from grade 9 throughout matric. So this won't be the last time you are seeing them. You are definitely going to be learning more about them and coming across them in your exams until you finish with matric, okay? So when they come up from exams, they will always be asked within a context. You'll be given a comprehension to do, and from that comprehension, words will be selected for you to provide synonyms or prefixes for, okay? So it is very important for you to know and understand what makes a prefix or suffix and how to change synonyms into antonyms and vice versa, okay? Okay. So synonyms and antonyms are not difficult to remember. As long as you know their definitions, you'll always be able to answer a question that has anything to do with them. Okay, so what are antonyms? Antonyms are words with opposite meanings, okay? So if you are asked to give an antonym for present, that would be absent. To give an antonym for white, that would be black. To give an antonym for polite, that would be rude. To give an antonym for light, and you would say dark, okay? You just have to provide words that have the opposite meaning, okay? And then synonyms are words with the same or similar meaning, okay? Examples, afraid. So scared and frightened also mean the same thing as afraid. So if you were mad and you used angry or furious, the meaning is still the same, okay? Gloomy means the same thing as sad or unhappy. So as I said, synonyms and antonyms are not difficult to remember or understand, okay? On the other hand, prefixes and suffixes can be a little bit tricky for others to understand. So I want you to watch the video and then I will explain everything that's on the video, okay? Okay.
Hello, my name's Amelia. In this video, we will look at how to take words you already know and make them into new words. All you have to do is add a few letters before the word. These are called prefixes. Or add a few letters after a word. These are known as suffixes. Here's an example. Place, replace, replacement. Be careful. You can't do this with all vocabulary, but you can have fun experimenting to see which ones work and which ones don't. Let's look at prefixes first. We all know the word do. Did you know that you can redo something? And if you're not happy with it, you can undo it too. What does the prefix re mean here?
Okay, sorry,
That's
hold
right.
on.
Re means...
I will restart the video. Sorry about that. Okay.
Hello, my name's Amelia. In this video, we will look at how to take words you already know and make them into new words. All you have to do is add a few letters before the word. These are called prefixes. Or add a few letters after a word. These are known as suffixes. Here's an example. Place, replace, replacement. Be careful. You can't do this with all vocabulary, but you can have fun experimenting to see which ones work and which ones don't. Let's look at prefixes first. We all know the word do. Did you know that you can redo something? And if you're not happy with it, you can undo it too. What does the prefix re mean here? That's right. Re means again. So if you redo something, you do it again. And what about undo? Un is an opposite. So if you undo something, you reverse what you have done. Here's another prefix. What does it mean? Disagree, dislike, disallow, disappear. Dis also means not or reversal. Now let's look at some suffixes. Happy is an adjective. How can we make it into a noun? Simple. Just add the suffix ness. Happy plus ness equals happiness. Here are two more adjectives to express feelings. Sad and tired. To make the noun, you just add the same suffix. Have a look. Sad plus ness equals sadness. Tired plus ness equals tiredness. There are a few more prefixes and suffixes that go with a range of words. Learning which ones to use and with which words may seem hard at first, but with time, you'll learn to hear what sounds right. Prefixes and suffixes are everywhere. Next time you're reading or listening to English, start noticing which beginnings and endings are being used. Make a note of them, and more importantly, use them. It's the only way to remember them. We hope you found this video helpful, and we look forward to your return. Thanks for watching.
Okay, guys, I hope that will somehow help with your understanding regarding prefixes or suffixes, okay? Just to emphasize on what was said on the video, or just to give you a summary or an overview of prefixes and suffixes, okay? So basically, there will always be a root or what you call a base word, okay? A root or a base word. So when you are asked to provide a suffix or a prefix, you will always be given a root or a base word, okay? Sometimes you'll be given a prefix and then you'll be asked to provide a suffix, okay? Okay, for an example, joy. Joy is the root, and you edit a prefix for it to become enjoy. So our prefix is en, and you have the word enjoy. So before we edit the prefix, the root was joy. Okay. Here's another root. We have use. Use is a root. It doesn't have a suffix or a prefix currently, okay? So let's add, in fact, just think about it, which prefix we would use for use. There's actually quite a lot. Which prefix we would use for use. Also, there's a suffix, a couple of suffixes actually that you can provide for use, okay? A prefix for use would be misuse or reuse, okay? So I chose to take misuse, okay? So before we added a prefix, the root was use, okay? Okay, so now let's try and add a suffix, okay? So if you were given the word use and you are asked to provide a suffix, you would add less or full, and you would have useless or useful. Okay, useless or useful. For enjoy, so for enjoy, you would be given the entire word enjoy as it is, okay? You wouldn't be given the root as joy and be asked to provide a suffix for joy, okay? So you'd be given the entire word enjoy, and you would have to provide a suffix, and our suffix would be meant, okay? And you would have enjoyment, okay? So that's what prefixes and suffixes are. With a prefix, it's the words or the letters that you add before the root, okay? And then with suffixes are the words that you add after the root, okay? So the other one is before, and then the other one is after, okay? And when they are added, they change the entire meaning of the word, and either they change it into an antonym or they just change the entire meaning of the word, okay? Right. So I have that I'm going to share with you guys now, a worksheet that I want us to do together to see if we are on the same page regarding prefixes and suffixes, okay? Okay, there it is. Okay, I'm sure it's on your screen right now as well. Okay, we are going to do it together, okay? Just to make sure we are all understanding. So this is a prefixes and suffixes worksheet that I created for you guys. So number one says, if you take away the prefix and the suffix, what is left of the word unemployed? Okay, so unemployed has both the prefix and the suffix. So if you were to remove the prefix as well as the suffix, what would you be left with? Okay, so we can't be left with unemployed because the prefix is still there, okay? We can't be left with employed as well because the suffix is still there, which is the ed. So our answer would be C, okay? Would be left with employed. Okay, let me just do this. I'm trying to highlight this. Ooh, I don't know what I just did. So our answer, there we go. Our answer would be C for this one, okay? And then our second question would be, which suffix can you not add to the root word box to make a new word? Okay, so you have the word box over there. Which suffix from the ones that we are given here would you not add to make a new word, okay? So let's start with A. Is there such thing as boxful? No. But do we have boxing? Absolutely. Do we have boxes? Absolutely. So the word that we would not add to make a new word, it would be full, okay? Let's highlight that. Right. And then number 3 says, What prefix would you add to the word finished to show that there is still some work to be done? What prefix would you add to the word finished to show that there is still some work to be done? Okay, so would we add misfinished? No. Disfinished? No. We would add unfinished to show that there's still some work to be done. Okay, so the answer here would be A. Okay, and then we go to number 4. What suffix would you add to the word air to show that the room is very stuffy? Okay, what suffix would you add to the word air to show that the room is very stuffy? Okay, so we would definitely not add ed, and we would not add full as well. We would add less. Okay, so the word would be airless. Okay, and that would indicate that the room is stuffy and there is no air. Okay, then number 5. What prefix would you add to the word view to indicate that you see something before other people do? Okay, so here you are asked, what prefix would you add to the word view to indicate that you see something before other people do? Okay, we already know that it's not a review, it's not a disview as well, it's a preview. Okay, the answer here would be B for a preview. Okay, and then number 6, our second last question. What suffix would you add to the word blame to show you have done nothing wrong? Okay, what suffix would you add to the word blame to show that you have done nothing wrong? So what suffix would you add? I know what I would add. Okay, do we add ness? Do we add less? Do we add ed? Which one do we add, guys? So we would add less, okay, to make up the word blameless. Okay, let's highlight this. Okay, and then our final question, which of these prefixes means below? Is it under? Is it pre? Is it over? Okay, it's definitely under. Okay, I don't know if you guys are noticing that somehow some of these prefixes and suffixes, they work hand in hand with synonyms. The questions that are being asked here are very similar to the questions that you would be asked to provide a synonym or an antonym, because some of these prefixes, once you add some of these words, once you add a prefix, it changes to an antonym. I hope you are picking that up. Let's make an example for employ. Okay, once you add a prefix, it changes to unemployed. You see that? So it's very similar to to a question whereby you would be told to provide an antonym for employ. Okay. Remember, we said antonyms are words that have the opposite meaning. Okay, so if you were asked here to provide an antonym for employ, it would definitely be unemployed. Okay, but this is not how they will ask you these questions in exams. I'll just show you now how they will ask you. Okay, go here. Okay, so I've been going through a lot of question papers for grade 9s and other grades as well. So normally, if you are doing a comprehension for exams and you get to the language part, for synonyms, they will ask you, sorry, for synonyms or antonyms, for this one specifically, what you have on your screen, what they will ask you for antonyms, they will say, give the opposite of the following words, okay? They won't really say, give the antonyms of the following words or what are the antonyms of the following words. They will just say, give the opposite of the following words. So when they're asking you to give the opposite of the following words, you must already know that you are being asked to provide antonyms, okay? Because you already know the meaning of an antonym, okay? Right. And then the same thing with the synonyms as well. They will ask you to give words that have the same meaning or a similar meaning with the words that you'll be given at the time, okay? So the question will be, give words that, they will say provide words that have the same meaning as the following, and then they will list the words that you have to provide the synonyms for, okay? So you just, with synonyms and antonyms, you just need to know their definitions. If you know their definitions, then you will be safe, okay? Because they hardly ask you to provide, they hardly mention the word synonym or antonym when they're asking you a question. They will just say, give, the opposite of the following words, or give words that have the similar or the same meaning as the following words, okay? So just make sure that you are very familiar with their definitions, and in that way you will be able to ace the language section, okay? And then for prefixes, they ask the question very similar to how they would ask synonyms and antonyms. So they will say, use prefixes to give the opposite of the following words, okay? They'll say, use prefixes to give the opposite of the following words, okay? So you already know that once you add prefixes from these words, they will give you the opposite meaning or the opposite word. Okay, right. So I want us to attempt to do this few, just antonyms and prefixes, and then we will mark them together. I'll just make it like a minute. It's just a minute. So now it's 24 minutes past. Just after a minute, we will mark them together. Okay. Okay, I am sure you are finished. These ones are very easy, and yeah, they're very easy. I'm sure you are done. Okay, so you're writing an exam and you're asked to give the opposite of the following words, which is sweet, wrong, often, temporarily, and quickly. Okay, so for sweet, the answer would be sour. Okay, for sweet, the answer would be sour. For wrong, the answer would be right, correct, or appropriate. Okay, so if you had correct or appropriate, that is still fine. Okay, and then for often, you would have seldom. So often the answer is seldom. And then for temporarily, we have permanent or lasting. So if you said lasting, that is still correct. Okay. And then for 5, we have quickly. So for quickly, it's obvious it would be slowly. Okay, so I'm hoping that everybody got those ones right, because they were very easy. And then for wise, so if you add prefixes to, if you add a prefix to the word wise, and it has to provide an opposite meaning of wise. So what would that be? Yes, that would be unwise. Okay, so you would add un to have unwise. Okay, and then for healthy, same thing. You would add un to have unhealthy. Okay, for ugly, same thing. You would have to add dis. Okay, and you would have disagrees. You would have to add this to have disagrees. Okay, so for grade 9, for the language section, we've already covered punctuation. Please go and watch the video that we did yesterday for punctuation. I know it was titled grade 7, but it's actually for grade 9. So just look for the grade 7 video. It's for you guys, and just go through everything that we did there yesterday regarding punctuation. Also, how I asked the questions on that video yesterday on punctuation, it is how they come up from exams. Okay, so for the language section, there will always be it's either there'll be punctuation and as well as prefixes and synonyms, and there will be indirect and direct speech, of which we will do sometime next week. Yeah, there will be those things. Those are very, very common ones, and of course there's more, but I've done the very, very common ones with you guys. So please go and have a look at that video. And if you have any questions, you can ask me, you can email me, and then I'll get back to you the soonest. Okay, so let's just do a quick review on everything that we've just, okay. Let's start here. So we said you always have the root or the base word, and then you will be asked to provide a prefix or a suffix. And sometimes you might be given a prefix and you'll be asked to add a suffix. Okay, so just like enjoy, and you'll be asked to add a suffix, and that would be meant, and you would have enjoyment. Okay, you wouldn't be asked to give a suffix to joy, because we don't have a word such as joyment. Okay, we have enjoyment and we have the word joy. Okay, so okay, also antonyms are words with opposite meanings. Just remember that antonyms, opposite meaning. Okay, synonyms, same or similar. Okay, so antonyms, opposite meanings, just remember the word opposite. And then with synonyms, same or similar. Okay. So with the activity that we have just done, I'm hoping that you will be able to recall the terms synonym and antonyms, and when given a word, you'll be able to replace it with a synonym or an antonym, as well as the prefix and suffix. We know that those two, they just don't exist on their own. There's always the root word, okay? Prefix and suffix, they create new words based on the root, okay? They can't just exist on their own. They have to come up from the root word, okay? So my session is actually way shorter than I thought. Okay, guys, so this is basically it. Our session was very, very short, but I hope you have an understanding of prefixes and suffixes, as well as synonyms and antonyms, because as I said, you will be coming across them throughout your high school life, okay? You will be asked them throughout, from your tests to your exams. So familiarize yourself with them and just get used to them, okay? Right. Thank you so much for joining me. Tomorrow we will be doing some reading again. We will do poem analysis. Yeah, we'll go through everything that has to do with analyzing poetry. So look out for that lesson, and it's going to be a good one. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms, and I will see you tomorrow.